Good morning from beautiful Custer. We had quite an adventurous morning. We got into the hotel about midnight last night. I didn't even completely unload the car. We pretty much got right to bed and fell asleep. We were in the depths of sleep at 6:15 when the alarm in the room of the hotel, somebody had set the alarm for us generously. So 6:15 that woke us up, and unfortunately we didn't get back to bed after that. So short night of sleep after a big day of driving, but we got up, dressed, had breakfast at our place, biscuits and gravy, French toast, eggs, all that stuff. So it was good. We charged up for a while, and then as I'm just about to unplug, someone starts talking to me. We ended up with like 98% or something like that. Went back to the hotel, I got a shower, kind of freshened up a little bit, and then came down for registration. Joan wasn't planning on being here, and so we had to do an extra registration for her, but we got all our swag, all our tickets, all that kind of stuff, so we're good to go for the events. But we got an early start, so I think we're kind of ahead of everybody else. And then we'll try to join up with the group this afternoon. We'll come back here. For now, we're just going to go around town and find some adventures.
The day was cool and incredibly windy, so we tried hiking the Skywalk Trail Overlook in Big Rock Park near town, but it was too much for Joan, even with a piggyback ride. We grabbed lunch, reset at the hotel, and then headed up to the Needles Highway, through the Sylvan Lake entrance of Custer State Park. The park was free for the weekend, so easy to get in and out. The lake was beautiful, but still cold and windy, so our hike was brief. But a good day for driving through the Needles, especially with the glass roof. After the Needles Eye Tunnel, we pulled up to an overlook to find a familiar Model Y with Todd and Lee inside. We caught up for a little bit, but the wind and cold had us hitting the road again before long.
Whoa, look at that. It's way over our heads, Joan. Look up. Look up. Whoa, it's way up there. It's way up there. Holy cow.
As we came toward the end of the Needles Highway, we saw our first buffalo of the trip, and Joan's finally tall enough to look out and actually see it. It was now late in the afternoon, so we headed back to Custer to see if folks were gathering at the visitor center before dinner. Not quite the pre-dinner gathering from last year, but we got a look at some of the different plates from around the country. Then headed over to dinner at the Mount Rushmore Brewing Company. Nice to get inside and meet up with the larger group. Joan entertained herself looking over the crowd from the platform before we ate. Then we heard the story of Elon's family needing a charge in Custer back in 2014 before the supercharger. It's a fun story that I won't spoil here. There was an after-party event, but Joan was done with adult things, and with our short night I was going to go back to the hotel room. But then outside I noticed the wind had died down and we were almost to sunset. Rather than waste the beautiful light, we grabbed a Blizzard at Dairy Queen and made our way back up to Sylvan Lake and the Needles Highway. The dash cam doesn't do the sunset justice like the photos do, but it was a beautiful drive and a nice way to calm down for the night. In the morning, we had a snowy surprise.
It's a beautiful morning out there in Custer. Doesn't look too windy, but you can still see there's a little bit of snow on the cars from last night, so hopefully it'll warm up and we'll have a beautiful day. All right, good morning again. It is, I don't know, close to 10 maybe. Just back at the visitor center, plugged in just because why not? We're killing some time until we meet Roland and them. They're just finishing breakfast, and then they need about 10 minutes of supercharging, and then they're going to come over here to register. So we just said we'd come over here, hang out, and wait till they're ready to roll. Then I think we're going to do park drives again and try to see some more wildlife, show them around, see if we see any other sights, and do some of the other group activities if we can. So just kind of taking it easy, chill Saturday morning. All right, just met up with Roland, got up to 66% from 61, and we're going to hit the Needles Highway.
We set off again for Needles Highway, but with blowing snow this time. Lots more congestion in the park on a Saturday, complete with photographers, climbers, bikers, and folks who don't understand taking turns through one-way tunnels. Roland and his family were following us, and I pulled off at the Overlook again in case they wanted to take pictures. But the tight turns and curves in the park had caused little Kwame to throw up in the back seat. So they got to see some of the sights and followed us for a while longer, but then took the road back to Custer for some rest and some hotel pool time. Joan and I continued around the wildlife loop, getting to see some more deer and buffalo as we turned south. Toward the southern end of the park, you can continue down into Wind Cave National Park, where traditionally we've seen more buffalo, along a fantastic windy road. This year was no disappointment. We stopped by the Wind Cave Visitor Center for restrooms, but didn't do the cave tour. It's very cool, but we've done it before, and there can be a long wait. So after a quick refresh, we're headed back north with more buffalo on the way.
we got a crazy little road here with a one-lane bridge. I'm on FSD. It handled it great coming out here. I just wasn't recording this dash cam. Here, we got to get over to the other side of the road. It's figuring it out, kind of. There we go. Well, it did better going up than it did going down, but it still figured it out. So this is Wind Cave National Park, or the road into it from Custer State Park. We're headed back north now, back to Custer, but this road's got a lot of good buffalo and a nice windy, fun road.
Halfway back up to Custer, I noticed a gravel road with a sign for Mount Coolidge Overlook. It's a rough, narrow gravel road with steep, tight turns, so not for folks with trailers, campers, RVs, or who baby their cars. But the reward was an incredible drive to the highest point in the Black Hills, and the view from the fire tower is an outstanding panorama. The huge elevation change on such a small spire of rock gives it a mini Pikes Peak vibe. Unfortunately, we didn't bring quarters to try the viewfinders that I think look up to Mount Rushmore and Crazy Horse, but even with the naked eye you can see the Needles Highway area. Speaking of Crazy Horse, if we didn't get moving we'd miss the group photo there, so back down the trail and into town for a quick charge stop.
Okay, so we just got up to 61%. I'm not sure what we got here with. Maybe 30%. So just a few minutes, but enough to take care of the rest of the day and longer than I planned to stay. Again, just as I'm about to leave, someone comes over and starts asking questions, which is ultimately good, but not good when you're in a hurry. So we gotta get to the next meetup, so let's hit the road.
We made it just in time to get in line. Special thanks to Glenn for sharing his video and photo of the group getting lined up. We didn't have time to really check out the memorial and have a close-up experience with the carving, but we'll keep it on the list for next year. Very grateful that the Crazy Horse Memorial folks let us do the photo op there, and for sharing these great photos with us. Next was the caravan back to town for dinner at the Custer Beacon. We found an open level 2 charger to set us up for Sunday while we ate.
Alright, using our friendly level 2 charger here. It's far enough away from the restaurant, I don't think anybody else is going to need it. And since we'll be in there a while, it'll be good to just slow charge up.
After checking in at the restaurant, Joan and I went across the street to a park while we waited for dinner to be served. back for dinner, and we were having a good time talking with friends, and Joan was really enjoying the fruit and chocolate fountain. But the announcements and entertainment got too loud for her, and we had to make an early exit. Again, we took advantage of the sunset for another ride up to Sylvan Lake, then down a new route home. As the day closes and we head back to the hotel, we'll end it for this week. Next week will be our drive home, which should be faster and cheaper than the trip to Custer, so stay tuned to see how we do. Then we'll break down all the stats, costs, and comparisons to last year. This episode has been scenery heavy on purpose, as we spent these days enjoying the destination instead of focusing on charging. We just drove a great car through where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next one.